Welcome. So, if you're just starting out with German, I know the grammar can feel like this huge, scary mountain to climb. But today, we're not just going to look at a bunch of random rules. Oh no. We are building your complete roadmap to actually understand it right from the ground up.
You know that feeling, right? You open a German textbook and it just seems like this massive, confusing, endless list of rules. If you've ever felt that way, trust me, you are definitely not alone. It is a super common feeling. But what if I told you it's not really about memorizing thousands of disconnected rules? What if it's more about understanding a core system and then just building on top of it piece by piece? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's build that roadmap together right now.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute foundation, the nouns. Then we'll get those verbs moving, build our very first sentences, add some color with adjectives, connect all our ideas, and then at the end, we'll boil it all down to a few golden rules you can always rely on.
Okay, first things first. Every great structure needs a solid foundation. And for German grammar, that foundation is all about the nouns and those little words that hang out with them. This is rule number 1, and it's a big one. It's a huge difference from English. In German, every single noun gets a capital letter, no exceptions. And just as important, every noun has a gender. It's either masculine, feminine, or neuter. Getting this idea down is the key that unlocks everything else. And those genders are what tell you which word for the to use. You've got der for masculine nouns, die for feminine, and das for neuter. Oh, and here's a nice little shortcut for you. The plural article is always die. So you should really just learn the noun and its article as one single unit, like a package deal. Think der Mann, die Frau. Now, this is where the fun really begins. Those little articles, der, die, das, they're not static. They actually change. And they change based on what job the noun is doing in the sentence. We call this a case. Let's just focus on the big 3 for now. The nominative is the subject, the star of the show. The accusative is the direct object, the thing receiving the action. And the dative is the indirect object. It answers the question to whom or for whom. Let's look at a real sentence, because this is where it all clicks. So we have der Mann, the man. He's our subject, so he's in the nominative case. He gives, what does he give? Den Knochen, the bone. That's our direct object, so it's in the accusative case. And who does he give it to? Dem Hund, to the dog. That's our indirect object in the dative case. Did you see that? The articles changed from their basic forms based on each noun's role. That right there is the case system in action. Okay, we've got our nouns sorted. Now let's inject some action into this. It's time to talk about the engines of our sentences, the verbs. You know, in German, just like in a lot of languages, the verb has to agree with the subject. This just means the ending of the verb changes depending on who is doing the action. We can't just say, I learn, you learn, he learn. Nope, that ending has to be just right, and that whole process is called conjugation. And here's the good news. For most verbs, the regular ones, this whole thing follows a super predictable pattern. Let's take the verb lernen, which means to learn. For ich, I, the ending is e. For du, you, it's st. For er, sie, es, he, she, it, it's t. Once you get this simple pattern down, you literally know how to use hundreds and hundreds of German verbs. It's a real game changer. But of course, just like in English, the 2 most important verbs of all, sein, to be, and haben, to have, are totally irregular. They just do their own thing. They don't follow the pattern. So these are 2 you just have to memorize. But it's worth it because they are the absolute backbone of a language. All right, so we've got our nouns and we've got our verbs. We have the building blocks. Now let's start putting them together and actually build some sentences. So when you're making basic German sentences, there is one golden rule that you need to tattoo on your brain. The conjugated verb, the action word, always wants to be in the second position. This is the absolute bedrock of German word order. Let's see how this works. In a normal statement, the verb is right there in spot number 2. Ich lerne Deutsch. I learn German. But what if you want to ask a yes or no question? It's easy. You just take that verb and slide it into the first position. Lernst du Deutsch? Do you learn German? See? The verb's position changes everything. Okay, our basic structure is up and running. Now it's time to have some fun and add detail, description.
some color with adjectives.
So here's a pretty simple rule for adjectives. When the adjective comes after the noun it's describing, life is easy. It doesn't change at all. Das Auto ist schnell. The car is fast. Simple. But when that same adjective comes before the noun, it has to put on a little costume. It has to take an ending that agrees with the noun's gender and case. So we say, das ist ein schnelles Auto. That is a fast car. That little S on the end is doing a whole lot of grammatical work.
Let's talk about the glue of the language now. We're talking about those small but mighty words like prepositions and conjunctions that connect our ideas and let us build more interesting, complex sentences.
Now, some German prepositions are kind of tricky. We call them two-way prepositions because the case they use can actually change. But the rule is really simple. If you're talking about movement towards a destination, you use the accusative case. But if you're just describing a fixed location where you are, you use the dative. So you'd say, Ich gehe in den Park. I am going into the park. But once you're there, you say, Ich bin im Park. I am in the park. It all comes down to, are you moving or are you staying put?
Whew, we have covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From articles to word order and everything in between. So let's take a moment and boil it all down to the most important must-know rules to take with you on your German journey. Okay, if you only remember a handful of things from this whole roadmap, make it these 4 golden rules. This is your master key. First, verbs are the things that change to show the tense. Got it. Second, articles and adjectives. Their endings change based on gender, case, and number. Third, and this is a huge relief, honestly, those endings do not change for the tense. And finally, number 4, word order is king. That verb is locked into position 2 for statements. You internalize these 4 rules, and I'm telling you, you have unlocked the fundamental logic of A1 and A2 German grammar. So there you have it. Your foundation is set, the framework makes sense now, and the whole system isn't some big, scary mystery anymore. The only real question left is, now that you have the roadmap, what are you going to build with it?